Hi, welcome to this month's SMA Sketch Club. My name is Jerry and I have a fun drawing for us to do today. Aren't we lucky that the Stark Museum of Art is right here in Orange, Texas? And did you know that the Stark Museum is turning 45 years old this month? Well, I'm not much of a baker, so I didn't bake a cake to celebrate the museum's birthday, but I did do a drawing to celebrate the museum's birthday. Let's take a look at what I did. This cake that I drew is a tiered cake, which means it has different tiers or levels. This cake has 4 tiers. On each tier, there is something about the Stark Museum. The first tier has the name, the Stark Museum of Art, and then the rest of the cake has symbols on it for the museum. And since our museum is a museum of Western art, I chose symbols that are Western in nature. A symbol is a picture that stands for something and gives us the idea of a certain subject. So I have symbols of the West. If you look at the second tier on my cake, there are cacti. So there's cacti in the West. Then the next tier, we have a covered wagon and cowboy boots. And then the next tier up, a longhorn steer and 2 horseshoes. And then on the very top, the number 45, which is how many years the museum has been open. That entire cake is sitting on top of a cake stand. And behind the cake is a banner with different colors and patterns. So I think it would be fun for us to do a drawing that has symbols on it. A drawing of a cake that has symbols. Let me show you what I have in mind. Here is another drawing of a tiered cake. Now this cake is a little bit different. It is sitting on a cake plate instead of a cake stand. So when you do your drawing, you could do it either way, but I'm going to show you how to do a cake plate. And this cake has 3 levels. So what I did was I pretended that I was in elementary school and that I was in the 2nd grade. And I drew a different tier for each grade that I have been in. And I put symbols or pictures from that time period that remind me of some of the things that I learned when I was in those grades. Let's look at these. When I was in kindergarten, that's what the K stands for, I remember getting my backpack, and I remember being really excited to have a box of crayons. And then the next year, I was in the 1st grade. So I remember pencils and glue from 1st grade. And in 2nd grade, I remember learning about the world, the globe, and reading my 1st chapter book. And then I put 3 candles on top, 1 for each year that I'd been in school, and I topped it off with a banner behind it. So what you're going to do today is I'm going to show you how to do this kind of a drawing, and then you can customize it to fit what grade you're in and the things that you like about school. So let's get started. You need a piece of paper and a pencil. As usual, I'm going to draw with the marker, a Sharpie, just so that it shows up. But if I were you, I would do my drawing in pencil, just in case you want to make any corrections. You can erase that. I'll be drawing 3 tiers because my example has 3 tiers, a kindergarten, a 1st grade, and a 2nd grade tier. If you're in the 3rd grade or the 4th grade, you can add those layers on. You may get your teacher to stop the video so that you can add those layers on. All right, I'm going to start by drawing a line right about here. That's going to be the bottom of the 1st tier. You know, I may extend that a little bit more. Okay. And so basically what I'm drawing is a rectangle. Now, if I wanted it to be perfectly straight, I could use a ruler, but you know, when people make cakes, they're not usually, a cake's not perfectly straight. Definitely the ones I make aren't perfectly straight. So there's the top, or the bottom, I'm sorry, the bottom tier of the cake. While we're down at this part of the drawing, let's put that cake plate. So we're going to come out on each side with a little curved line. And now we're going to connect. So it looks like the cake is sitting on a plate. Now let's start on our next tier. I'm going to come in a little bit and then come in about the same distance from this end, just to show that that tier is a little bit smaller. And I'm going to bring this line up and draw another rectangle. That one's kind of wobbly, but that's okay. And then I can add my final one. This cake looks like it's leaning a little bit. That's the kind of cakes I made. So there are my 3 layers. Now we can put the icing on the cake. So we don't see the top of the cake. So we don't see that icing, but we see the icing that's kind of coming down the side. So I use a wavy line for the icing. I need to do that 3 times, 1 for each tier. Now, if you are in the 2nd grade, this is where you would stop, because you've got 1 level for kindergarten and then 1 for 2nd and 1 for 3rd. Second, if you're in the 3rd grade, you would add another one. If you're in the 4th grade, you would add another one. So your teacher needs to stop to let you add some more layers, that's fine. All right, let's make a line to be the table that the cake is sitting on. Okay, so now we have that, the cake is sitting on the table. And let's put some candles on top of the cake. So I'm going to put 3. You may put less or you may put more. That's up to you and what grade you're in. So to do 3, I'm just going to draw some more rectangles. And a wick for each candle. And then a flame for each candle. Kind of looks like an upside down heart a little bit. Now, I like the birthday candles that have the stripes, so I'm going to make some lines to be the stripes. You don't have to do stripes if you don't want to, but I like stripes. Well, it's pretty easy to do, isn't it? So the next thing I want to do is put that fun banner in the background. So I'm going to start at one corner and make a big curved line like that. Next, I'm going to use triangular shapes. And these might go behind your candles. So if that happens, then you just need to make sure you're aware of that. And as far as the patterns, you can put any kind of patterns that you want on there. You could write your name or your initials, your school name. You can do whatever you want with the banner. I'm just going to put some polka dots on this one, some stripes on this one, maybe some curvy lines on this one. Maybe some zigzag lines on this one. And then maybe some more polka dots on this one. So we have our basic drawing, and then the next thing that you would want to do is write the numbers of the grades on there. So kindergarten first. So I used a K to B for kindergarten. And then 1st grade. The ST means there it's first, and then 2nd, and then you may have 3rd and 4th. Now the rest is up to you. You're going to add symbols on each cake, so you're going to draw those in of things that you remember from kindergarten. Maybe you remember playing with building blocks, so you could put that. Maybe in first grade you remember learning how to count, so you could put 1, 2, 3 or A, B, C. So add some symbols on each layer of your cake, and then finally use crayons or colored pencils or markers or all three to color your cake. Let me remind you what mine looked like colored. And this is celebrating the years that you have been in school. Thank you for drawing with me today. Let's take a second to wish the museum a happy birthday. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, Stark Museum of Art. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.